What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasted live from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. This is the Wagering World, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts. Man, the OG of the show. He's been with me since day one, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? Welcome back.
Man, it must be time to get back to work. Five Star, we've been enjoying this little summer. I told Sino I'll bet a couple days, take a couple days off, just however I'm feeling. But you know what? When August hits, we got to get back to work. We got training camps, and especially looking into the college football world, there's so much information we need to digest. But the rest is over, and I'm excited to get back to work.
And man, broadcasted live from the city, the H-Town. Man, the youngest man to ever run a casino sports book on the Las Vegas Strip. My little brother, man, Sino Royale. Welcome back, brother.
Wow, what's good, Wagering, bro? I'm excited for a new season 5, man. Just had to take a little break from everything. Finally back in motion. Shout out to the H, man. They've been showing me love since I've been out here. And free knock, man. I just hollered at him the other day.
Man, love knock, man. Free knock. Shout out to all the homies in the H on the south side of town, man. Southwest side of town. Always love to you. Shout out to my son, Noah Lenz. He's doing this thing right now in the clubbing world, man. I'm out there. Y'all tell him, that it's all love from the Wagering World, and you with the Wagering World, and you there to show him love. You feel me? Look, man, summers, as you said, everybody been kind of chilling, right? Not betting as much as we normally bet. I posted a video the other day on X, and I think I put it also on the YouTube, man. Arnold Rothstein, one of the greatest sports bettors to ever walk the earth, had an unfortunate death like most mob guys do. I think he died in his 40s, man. Got killed over a bet he didn't pay. But he was a brilliant mind. They say he fixed the World Series back in the game, Chicago White Sox. He has a little spiel that he gives on Boardwalk Empires. If you haven't watched Boardwalk Empires, it's a really good show, and it's based on factual information. I'm really into like old stories about how guys came up and just built a life for themselves in America, man, and the different ways and different things that they faced. Well, on the show, Rothstein is speaking to Nucky. They call him Nucky Thompson on here. In real life, he was called Nucky Johnson, and he's telling them, man, like, as a bettor and as a pro bettor, he might bet 20 plays one day. He might bet one the next. He might go a week or a month without even betting anything at all because he's waiting for spots. And that's our approach here on the Wagering World, as we've been chilling all summer, man, enjoying time with the family. A little bit more plays than I expected on tennis lately, though, because the things have turned back around, man. It was dirty during Wimbledon and all that time there, man. It was really tearing us up, man. But we got some information that's going to really affect you guys as sports bettors that my little brother Sino has been really deep diving into, and he woke me up about it. He texted me and asked me had I read the bill, and I was like, nah, how does it affect us? And boy, when he started telling me the things that I kind of know now about, now we're going to be taxed not only for our losses, as it's always been in America, and we always can kind of level it off with our losses. Now you're going to be taxed for every wager that you make in a sports book. So that's trouble for all three of us. So, Cito, what did you learn about the big, beautiful bill?
So 5, it was crazy because I'm always on Twitter, X, shall I say, and I'm just scrolling and I see some people going off a poker player. I forgot his name. No disrespect to him, but he kind of went viral and he was saying, this big, beautiful bill is going to affect us poker players. If you're a professional sports gambler, you need to look at this and read. So I'm like, hold on. He kind of serious. So I look into this and 5 star. I'm like, hold on. We can only deduct up to 90% of our gambling losses now, when it used to be 100%. So that means if I win 100,000 and I lose 100,000 under the new rule, I still have to be taxed on $10,000.
$10,000.
What?
Yeah.
And I got to pay 24% of that. So that's $2,400. So it's like I'm just paying juice to gamble. Like, that's what it is. And I don't feel the recreational bettor is going to be affected by it because, they're doing little parlays and stuff like that. But people like us 5, high value, big bets over time. Man, we all seen each other win loss statements at the end of the hit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. What about you, Spread? Have you looked into the bill? We had a chat going where we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, and Sino hit right on the head. I have nothing more to add to that. He explained it perfectly. Deducting 90% is kind of ridiculous, especially, as you guys know, we don't do a lot of parlays. We do big bets on certain games, smaller bets on other games, right? But, I mean, for the most part, we're going heavy on our positions. And the thing is, we've talked about it before, 54%, 55%, steak every night. Full tank of gas, right? Doing whatever I like. 55%. I'm still losing a lot of these bets. You guys have watched the show. There's times we level play.
Right.
Turn it on and it wasn't even close to being right. Or there's an injury. I mean, lots of things happen. So what I am hoping is that, I know that the legislators in Nevada are already on it. I mean, Nevada's already struggling. No, we've talked about it before with the Las Vegas tourism. And I think a little bit of it, I would say a small amount, is I think that Vegas has overdone it with the charging with the parking and getting a little bit too expensive, where the idea before was like, you can go to New York and spend a lot of money, or you can go to Las Vegas and not spend any money and have a great time. Now it's getting closer to that in New York. So I'm wondering if certain families are saying, well, let's go somewhere with a little more historical significance, like New York or Philadelphia or Boston or London or something like that. But I'm just hoping that these legislators will take care of it, because it seems to be a big mistake. I don't think there would be I don't see who would be so in support of this. Like, nobody's going to lose a vote if the Nevada legislator puts forward the bill to repeal it or bring it back to how it was. It should be deduct 100% of your losses. That's how it works in any business. My gross, my net, right? I pay taxes on my net, not my gross. This is how it's always been. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and kind of just having faith in our system that this bill gets overturned. And I know that your legislators out there in Nevada are leading the way. Have you heard anything about that? And are you as confident as I am, or do you think this could be a disaster?
How long have we been pushing on this show, Spread? How many times? I'm sure that people watching the show like, 5 Star is just an old head. He needs to shut up. And
he froze up real quick, Sino, but what he's going to say is, this was better before corporations got involved.
Hey, and that's exactly, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I don't want to cut you off, Spread, because that's exactly what he was about to say. And they have guys like ourselves. We giving that place to the people for free, and they knocking it out the park. And then you have all these little groups and discards, man. They're hitting these home run parlays, and they're like, these books, they being affected like big time, and it's a come up. And I really
did you see the one on FanDuel where they said if you tail somebody and they get a bunch of parlays? So like, let's just say you went on ESPN, right? And you gave out a parlay and 100,000 people tailed you because a million people watched that show or whatever. They're not going to honor it.
Yeah, I've told people over and over again that Nevada should be the only state that's in control of sports betting. I've been saying that for so long. It's like I'm tired of talking about it at this point. And it's showing now is what's going on with this administration that pretty much sold everybody on doing something that's doing totally the opposite on everything. Like, it was supposed to be no taxes and less taxes on people like us who are independent business minds, and now it seems like more like the government is coming after us for money. And it's
that's
like
what
a
they're
real
doing.
attack, man, on middle class America, man. And I feel like they all together anyway, but it was a hell of a bluff that they ran on us with those campaigns and everything. And I'm man enough to say, when I get information, I can pivot to the right information. And just simply put, man, it's no way that anything would be going on if we were actually following what everyone voted for. And that was saying less taxes, hearing about what really happened with the kids and stuff. We ain't gonna even talk about that, but none of that's released with the Epstein files and stuff like that. So it's just a crazy time in American politics. And unfortunately, middle class, upper middle class, independent business owners like ourselves are the ones who are feeling the wrath. Coin investors, like, all of the people who were supposed to be good from, this decision now are the ones who are suffering the most. I think that Las Vegas has always been the forefront when it comes to this sports betting. But we also got to remember that the man in office has a beef with Las Vegas. Las Vegas didn't allow Trump to open a casino or to come here and play. So he's not trying to do the legislators here any favors. But that also is good for us as sports bettors, because that means that now they will be standing up to him, because they already know he's going to be in opposition to them about this bill, because it's going to cost them a lot of money. And the thing that you were talking about with tourism spread, basically what happened is these are all effects of COVID. Sino was living here at the time with me. He knows it was such a demonstrative drop in service, in food, when the casinos came back after COVID. And the reason why is, now we know, just like we said, it's a good thing that Nevada was running it. There are also family-owned businesses. There are people who are not really business savvy. So they were expecting that next book to come every month. And while they're up, hey, they were having a great time. They weren't prepared for COVID. They weren't prepared for such a long shutdown, and the industry here has never recovered from that. And I'd say that the gambling industry isn't the only industry that didn't recover, because the tourism is also being affected by the aviation industry. People got used to staying at home during that period and point. Then when they came back and started flying again, in certain countries restricted for the longest people even coming to America because of COVID. When they opened up everything again, now people's traditions are broken. You had guys from Australia, guys from Canada, guys from Europe. This was just a normal thing. Every year it was a guy trip that they took to Las Vegas. Well, COVID broke that up for a couple of years, and they started doing something different. And now we add to that with all the problems we've been having with flights. Now the aviation industry is completely went down since COVID. Like, it's not the same service. You're getting charged. You know, when Southwest is charging for bags, things are messed up, right? You have pilots walking off the job. All of these are repercussions from COVID. COVID affected people a lot more. You know, I lost my dad, unfortunately, due to COVID, because not him catching it, but his fear of getting COVID, and he got a shot, and it ended up killing him, you know? So it's just like COVID had so many negative effects on this country, and it's never been the same since. I don't know if it ever will be, but that's what's still affecting tourism in Las Vegas. It's not like people don't want to come here. It's people have gotten used to doing other things. The service is all the way down. The food is down because they do not have the same shipping channels to get the things they used to have. And if they do, they don't want to pay as much as they were before, because they're not making the money anymore that they used to make. So all of these have affected Las Vegas. As I said, the travel industry is down because not a lot of people coming to America like before. And also, when they come here, if they don't have a good time and the service is bad and it's more expensive than usually, of course, they're not going to want to come back. So once again, it all stems from COVID. And all we can do is pray that one day this country is able to fully recover and get back to the quality that we used to experience in Vegas. Shout out to the Fountain Blue, because Sino and I know Fountain Blue still. Fountain Blue is one of the few places spread. When you come next time, you got a room over there. They're the last place, them in the Win. Shout out to Mr. Win. I know he's not officially the one who runs it, but he's a great guy. I met him many years ago, and he is a real hotel builder. He knows how to design hotels, know how to run hotels, and the Win is still great. Man, that's so good. So, you know, our bartender, she's been our bartender for a really long time. Do you know he threw a party for all of the people who were originally hired from the Win from the day one, gave them $10,000 in stock in the company, and gave them a $2,500 voucher to use anywhere inside that mall to go get them anything that they wanted. That was really nice in these times where it's no longer about a good product, taking care of your clients, taking care of your customers. That really is a good thing that Mr. Win did. But spread, you got to stay at Fountain Blue or the Win. Fountain Blue still spends thousands of dollars to bring in flowers every day, fresh flowers to, you know, just for the guests to have that great aroma coming through there. Still a quality service. But if you follow Mr. Win, he says that Fountain Blue is the first luxury hotel, but the one in Miami. So great job by that franchise coming to Vegas, and still, even though they're not making as much money as they expected, they have enough class to, you know, look out for the patrons.
All right. Well, I got faith in your legislators down there. I think they're going to spearhead a bill and get us back on track. So that being said, let's move into what we're going to bet and hopefully not deduct 90%. Hopefully we can get back to deducting 100% and just talk about it. I know if you guys watched, of course, we've talked about it before, but quick refresher, get us ready because NFL's here, football's king. Don't worry, guys, we are going to do college football too. But today we're going to be a little more NFL focused. The Eagles, and I remember in the preview, man, I said one of the reasons I like the Chiefs is I really like them in a close game. And I said, the Eagles path to victory, they got to take all the hope out of them. And that's exactly what they did. Not only they won convincingly. There was no controversy. They're clearly the best team in the NFL. 5-star. What are your thoughts here? Can the Eagles repeat? And do you think Kansas City can make it to the Super Bowl once again?
I think that actually the Chiefs have a better chance just off of motivation and looking at their schedule as well. You look at the Eagles, you got Sirianni back for his 5th season. He's 48-20. They're 6-3 in the playoffs and has almost been fired 3 times. So that's Philadelphia for you. Howie Roseman is the man over there, and everything else is replaceable, as you've seen to the Super Bowl in the last few years with different quarterbacks, different coaches. It's all about Howie Roseman. He does a really great job. Clearly the best GM in, I'd say, sports. He's right up there. OC, as you know, he's now becoming the coach of your New Orleans Saints, because I've turned in.
I saw that. You're done with them, huh?
I'm through.
Right.
Go Texans.
Hey, my New Orleans Saints, he passed a bunch of Deion Sanders like that, and he had that throwing touchdown. I don't want to get into that. Continue.
We're going to talk a lot about the Saints because they're crashing out thinking that they can set themselves up to get Arch Manning. That's what it's all about. But I don't have time to wait. I feel like you should take the best player, your fans. But they stay in-house this time. Before, you remember they went outside the organization. Did they go outside the organization? No, Gerard Johnson, when he was the OC, right, Spread?
Who?
After the guy went and left and went to Indianapolis, their ex-OC. Who was the OC after him? It was Johnson, right?
I thought it was Clint Kubiak.
Was it?
I thought so.
No, I don't.
When they started off 2-0 last year, we were all ready to give him a head coaching job.
Maybe so. I can't remember who it was, but he didn't work. So now they have a system in place and doing pretty much what, I think they're going to run what they ran last year because they kept a guy, Kevin Patullo, and he's followed Sirianni all over. He's been in Indianapolis with him before joining the Philadelphia staff. He's been there the last 4 seasons. So a lot of continuity on the offense. Of course, they got Jalen Hurts back. Jalen Hurts is a leader. He's going to be a professional. And you got Saquon Barkley back. Electric year last year, career high 5.8 yards per carry. Then Vic Fangio is back. But they did lose a lot of people, man. The Eagles, they lost a couple cornerbacks. Now, they might have been long in the tooth, but still, NFL, you need veteran cornerbacks, man. They're kind of the wisdom back there. And even though they might not have the speed, they know how to get in the right place. And I don't know if they're going to regret letting go of Darius Slay and James Bradbury. They trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They're investing a lot in the 2 rookies that played really well for them last year. So they think that those guys are superstars. So they got rid of all of them. C.J. Gardner-Johnson actually got hurt at Texas training camp, but some good news. I hear that it's not as bad as people think. They thought it was going to be an ACL. He might miss about 3 games. Maybe it was an MCL strain. Then they have Adoree Jackson. He's been out around the block a couple times that they added, but man, they lost a lot on defense, man. They, 12 players depart in free agency, but Roseman did do a good job in the draft. He added 2 All-American 2 dynamic SEC linebackers, and an All-American pass rusher. And they also got 3 kids in the draft for offensive line as well. So, he knows how to draft. He knows which positions to hit. Quiet pickup for him was A.J. Dillon. So he'll be, I guess the pound to go along with Saquon Barkley. But overall, the Eagles are a solid team. It's just coming off a Super Bowl, and that division is tougher than people think. They have 2 teams that no one is big on, and that's the Giants and the Cowboys. But even so with that, the Giants are going to be a lot better on defense this year. And I think the Cowboys' offense, if Dak can stay healthy, has a chance to be dynamic. I think that people are sleeping on Schottenheimer. He's a coach's son. He's been around football his whole life, and his dad was one of the best coaches to ever coach in the NFL. So I think people are really sleeping on that kid. I think he's going to do better than they think. So the division comes down to, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, them and the Commanders. But when I look at their schedule, man, it's so tough. It's like a murderer's row. Their first 10 games, the only 2 light games they have are the Giants. And as we said, the Giants are going to be better. They might steal one of those because they play defense, and Russ, can make things happen with that team as well with all the weapons that he has on offense over there. So I just think it's going to be too tough a regular season for the Eagles to get back. I actually think that Washington is going to win that division and may win the NFC this year. It's like the last 7 years or something like that, it's been a different winner of that division. So don't be surprised if Eagles fall back a little bit. Then you go to the other side, the losers in the Super Bowl, but defending champions going into it were the Chiefs, man. And they still got Andy Reid. They still got Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why people are so down on them. They're just hoping and wishing for fall off, but Mahomes doesn't turn 30, man, until September. He still has a lot of ball left in him, man. Bro, a lot of ball left. He's won all 8 seasons that he's been there. He's won the AFC West, man. All 8 seasons. They won the year before, so they've won a record 9 straight times. The Chiefs have the AFC West. Mahomes is 35-5 versus the AFC West for his career. So it's a lot of trends that this division is going to have to overcome in order to beat them. And they made it to the Super Bowl last year with not really a talented team. They had a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position, man. You got Rashee Rice coming back. Now, I don't know how many games. Have you heard how many games he's going to miss, either of you?
For our best ball, we're estimating between 4 and 6.
Woo! That's not good. But they'll have him when he matters in the playoffs. But that's not good because they still are playing the number one, winning their division, the number one schedule. So, but Xavier Worthy's back. He's on the verge of being a star. I think he got a lot of confidence from his performance in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. Hollywood Brown was hurt last year. We know that he's a good receiver. Just has the dropsies he's going to have to catch. And then you got rookie Jalen Royals, who I watched at Utah State. He has a lot of juice, man. So I don't expect any fall off from the Chiefs. They didn't lose anyone important outside of Justin Reed, in my opinion. The defensive tackle, but I'm sure that they have a kid that they can put in there. It wasn't Chris Jones. That's all that matters to me on the defense because he's going to make whoever's beside him play and make it a lot easier on them by getting triple team. They kick off the season at Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hope we don't have the turf problems that we had in Rio last year and no one gets hurt. But they play the Chargers. I call them San Diego still. The Los Angeles Chargers, man, they're expecting a lot out of Harbaugh and Herbert. But when I look at the schedule for the Chiefs, bro, I see 12, 13 wins easily as long as they stay healthy at the quarterback position with Mahomes. So I think that it's going to be right back with them having a deep run in the playoffs and playing for the AFC Championship like they have every year that Mahomes has been there.
Hey, Five, that's crazy you gave that number, 12, 13 wins. The book actually have them sitting at 11.5. That's crazy.
What's the over? Is the over to the juice or plus money?
The over, I think it's juice last time I was checking. It's like 1.
That doesn't surprise me, though, Sino. I think betting the over on win totals over 10 for the last 5 years is only like 40-something%.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't think they're afraid to put those numbers low because just traditionally that's been a moneymaker for books. The best way to approach this, is try and hit the overs on some of the worst teams, right? Like we loved the Broncos last year, the easy one. And then I actually think the lower the number is, the easier it is for me to bet personally. Because a lot of times you go, 4.5 games is low. And then you watch the team and you go, nope, that's about right. They're going to win about 3 or 4 games this year.
Yeah.
So keep going with your breakdown, Sino. I want to hear how you're approaching the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Like 5 Star said, man, he did a real good explanation on that. Pressure bust pipes. That's all I can say. I feel Philadelphia got a lot of pressure on them going into this season. Cam Newton talking a lot about Jalen Hurts. It's a lot of riff-raff stuff like that. Social media. So a lot of light is still on that team. And Jalen, like a great football player and great leader, and he's acting like they're ready for the season and they're gonna go out and do what they have to do. But like I said, pressure bust pipes, and I think that pipe gonna bust
So
right
you
there.
think they're under more pressure? I think they're under less pressure because they actually have the ring now.
No, that's
No,
five
way
star.
more pressure.
Like 5 star said, dude, like that's the topic. Like, could they repeat? Like, like for
And
real,
it
like
sound like Philly. Come on, Spread. You see the turnover, like I just said in the breakdown about. Think about it. We just had them win a Super Bowl with a different quarterback and head coach.
Yeah,
and
the
they,
pressure
like
is.
Their fans are different.
Yeah, I'm in the again, and I be in the mix, Spread. So like, I really feel like the pressure is on Philadelphia. And if you look at the odds, the books have them favored. Actually, last time I checked, it was them in Buffalo, plus 675 to win the championship. Like it's crazy. So now more pressure on them. Kansas City, like 5 star said, Patrick Mahomes. You can't go against Patrick Mahomes, and he was going 3P. I just felt that was a lot of pressure on him also, and that just wasn't written in the script. It just wasn't meant to be. But shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, man. We're going to make a lot of money off of them this year.
Definitely.
All right, let's switch back. I did promise some college football talk, and here we are. Quick reminder for everybody. It feels like so long ago.
Yeah.
It feels like 5 years ago that Ohio State and Ryan Day won the national championship, but we were all doubting Ryan Day when they fell to Michigan earlier in the year. And I remember reading, and who knows if it was true, but it felt like the only way he saves his job is to win the national championship. He does it. Everything that had been said bad about him is now gone. Ryan Day is now once again the man at Ohio State and Notre Dame. They got to feel bad. They missed a great opportunity because with the way college football is, these top teams seem like they're just getting more and more stacked. What were your thoughts on Ohio State versus Notre Dame? Where do you see both these teams going up in the next year? Which team do you think would be more likely to once again be in the national championship game, 5-star?
Just a hell of a job by Marcus Freeman. That team overachieved, man. If you watch Notre Dame, they won't be back. They probably make the college football playoff just off of his genius on defense and the type of guys. He's one of those guys that should really go to the pros, I think. Just because he's more of a defensive-minded coach, and he has a great eye for playmakers on defense at the linebacker, cornerback, safety position. Kind of reminds me of Nick Saban. So maybe he can have some success, but he's going to have to find the right OC and the right quarterback. And this year, they don't have it coming back. Last year, the kid that they had that came over from Duke, he had a lot of heart. He's going to fight. He's going to play hard, but he wasn't that good of a passer. I don't know what we're going to get out the guys that they have over there now because they have 3 untested guys. C.J. Carr's a freshman. Then they have another kid that's Kenny Minchie. All of these guys have never took any meaningful college football snaps. So that means it's going to be all about the defense. And then college football has too many good offenses, man, to just rely strictly on playing that type of style of football that I expect. I know that they have a hell of a running back, so we do know that for Notre Dame. So that's one thing. But besides that, it's only Marcus Freeman, man. And I don't know if his coaching and his X and O's are going to be enough to get them back to the title game. Same with Ohio State. A lot of turnover, man. I have never seen Julian Sayin play, but briefly when I've seen him play, he didn't look too impressive. But he will be throwing to the best player in the whole country in Jeremiah Smith. So that's something to watch. But another thing that troubles me about Ohio State is that their left tackle is a transfer. He came out of Houston from Katy, but he played at Rice. And if you know football like we do, Rice isn't a football powerhouse. So if they're trusting this kid out of the Houston area to play left tackle, maybe he's developed over the years after coming out of Katy as a freshman and now being a senior. But I just don't see a Rice offensive lineman being a star left tackle that's protecting Ohio State's quarterback's backside. But we'll see. But I feel like the biggest loss, that Ohio State had was losing DC Jim Knowles. Like he had just came over there for 1 year. Saw the drop off on defense. He left Oklahoma State. Jim Knowles is a hell of a defensive coordinator. And he went to Penn State to their rivalry. So somehow James Franklin was able to come up with the bag. And also I think that Jim Knowles is from Pennsylvania. So he left Ohio State in a really good situation. They do have everything safety. Caleb Downs coming back, and he's a great player. He's going to be a top 5 pick. He can return. He can play slot. He can play corner. He can play safety. He was a freshman at Alabama, and when Nick Saban left, he didn't want to play for the coming in coach. So I think that Ohio State will always be a decent team because we know that Ryan Day knows offense. How many times have you seen their offense struggle? But with that said, man, it's about pulse. And these kids are too young for Notre Dame and Ohio State. So we will have 2 brand new teams in the national championship this year.
All right, Sino, do you agree? And will one of those teams be Michigan?
Michigan.
We're going to talk about Michigan when we break down that Big Ten.
Yeah.
Shout out Michigan, man. And shout out to Big Ten. Actually, I was kind of right about a Big Ten team winning the Big Ten last year. Shout out to Oregon.
If that's still on the script, we'll get to that right now. To Ohio State and Notre Dame. Your thoughts?
The Ducks got to it, but 5-star. He hit it on the money. I definitely think Jim Norris, he left a good program, and now he at Penn State. And I don't think neither one of them teams gonna repeat. Are they going back? Ohio State is favored to win the Big Ten, but I love Penn State. Like, I just love that team. I feel a lot of the players are back, and again, a lot of pressure on them, and they have a point to prove.
Let's just get to the future right now, Spread. Let's talk about the Big Ten, who we like to win it. Let's just keep rolling.
Let's keep it moving, and we'll start with you, Mr. Sino Royale, because you took a stand. It wasn't the consensus. It wasn't where everyone was going on the rest of the previews. I was looking, and you went and took Oregon. And I'll tell you what, I was a little hesitant because I was worried about the travel, not being familiar with the opponents. I was kind of in my head. I feel like I kind of discounted the Pac-12 teams a little bit and was only thinking of the traditional Big Ten teams, but you were able to get that right on the money. You picked Oregon. Tell me your thoughts on Oregon this year. And I know that must have been a pretty fun ticket to cash there at plus 450, right? That's not your normal minus 110 banger. Now they're going to try and tax you for it, Sino. But talk to me about it. Oregon this year, Big Ten, and just general thoughts on the Big Ten.
Man, to be honest, I'm Oregon, another team still at the top of the Big Ten. But, man, Spread, I am really focused on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Like, that's who I think the play is, like, right now. They returning 14 of their starters, and Drew Aller, he's back. Like, again, it's just repetition, man. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs, back to the previous thing. We hit a win. Like, we have points to prove. We have, things we have to do, and we got families to feed. And I feel like with this new NIL deal and stuff going on like that, these kids really gonna step up to play. So I feel Penn State, they're the big play right now for the Big Ten.
They plus 230.
Loving those plain white helmets, 5-star, no logo at all. Who's your pick in the Big Ten, and what do you think about Oregon's upcoming chances this year?
Oregon does have a chance because they're going to have a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel this year. Dante Moore can play. I remember him at UCLA, and he always had some plays that popped to me where I was like, oh, this is a pro quarterback. They're going to be able to throw the ball around and get it to those receivers a lot more with Dante Moore. So don't sleep on Oregon, even though I can't stand Dan Lannon. He's a hell of a defensive coach, man, and he's a hell of a recruiter, man. So I'm going to give him his props where it's due. He's just a hater. Oregon will be in the mix. Penn State, of course, but the thing with me, man, is Penn State, I just can't trust that combination of Drew Aller and James Franklin. They've let me down too many times before. Drew Aller is one of those guys that he makes some splash plays. He has the size. When he come out on the field, he's looking like Josh Allen. So you're like, wow, this is a dominating figure. This is a big guy. He can play. But he plays half his size, man. Like, if you start hitting him, he doesn't think quick. So if you blitz him with exotic blitzes and start confusing him, he will turn the ball over. And he does not play well in his biggest games. The only big game he played good in was the Big Ten championship game. And I feel like that was a Vegas game. I feel that it was too much money on Oregon. And so, it is what it is. But I don't like him at all consistently. Against, nobody teams, he'll probably beat them up. But when it comes down to playing for it all, I'm not betting on Drew Aller and James Franklin. I love their backfield. I love their receivers. Like, their whole backfield is coming back. As you said, 14 starters. So they're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to be right in it at the end. They definitely will make the college football playoffs. I'm going to make some value plays. You guys know how we approach on the Wagering World. You guys are watching the Wagering World right now. Hit that like button. We appreciate you for being here, rocking with us. Man, we miss talking ball with you guys. It's great to be back. I got to go value. I'm going to go with Michigan. At plus 1,000, man. I got to. And why would
Lord
I
have mercy, Jesus Christ.
Bro, they got 13 returning starters. They got the number one quarterback recruit coming in Bryce Underwood, who they stole from LSU. They outbid LSU and went and got him because the guy over there at Barstool is a big Michigan guy. And he wouldn't pay the money, man. And, you know, props to him in his NIL time stepping up for his school. Sharon Moore has never had a quarterback, guys. And he's beaten Ohio State twice. Beating Ohio State back-to-back like he has already makes you a Michigan legend because they have not had a lot of success against Ohio State over the years. He's undefeated against them. The year he was the coach for Harbaugh, he won. Both times he was the dog, went into Ohio State and got it done, man. And last year, big upset. They were like 10-point dogs, and they knocked them out. Almost made it where Ohio State couldn't even get to the playoffs. So Michigan will have a lot of confidence against the two best teams in the conference. And if they can get through those guys, they don't have much else to play. They go to Oklahoma. They got to be careful there just because Brett Venables is a really good defensive coach. But I don't know if I'm scared of Arnold Jackson, you know, or Jackson Arnold. I can't remember which way it goes, the quarterback for Oklahoma. But I do like Michigan just as a value play. Why wouldn't I take them at plus 1,000? Also a team to watch to keep your eye on. The big dog is Illinois. 16 returning starters. Brett Bielema, quarterback Luke Altmaier, now in his second season over there after transferring from Ole Miss. Luke Altmaier had some really good games against good teams last year. He's going to play on Sundays. He's a Sunday type of quarterback. Now can Brett Bielema be imaginative enough to not sit on the ball and to really attack offensively in order to win this division? But as I said, put my money on Michigan at plus 1,000, man. I think that they are going to upset some people. I think the people are going to be surprised that they forgot about the type of program Michigan has and that they're going to look completely different now that Sharon Moore has a quarterback that can run his offense.
All right.
Yes.
And I was going to switch it up for us. I was going to bring it back to the NFL since we started off with the Super Bowl champions. Who you think won the NFC East?
NFC East. Let's go to spread first. Who you got in the East spread?
I mean, I think the Philadelphia Eagles win the NFC East. I mean, we talked about, you know, their potential roadblocks to winning the Super Bowl, but winning the Super Bowl and winning the division are a couple of different things. And I think that, you know what, I'm not the only one who thinks that the Washington Commanders are obviously the biggest threat to upset them. But looking at the Commanders season last year, number one, they're going to play a tougher schedule. Number two, there was a lot of those games that they squeaked out, and I would not be surprised to go the other way. They definitely did well in one-score games. They did well in close games, and some of that was awesome. And when you have a young, confident quarterback that understands how to make plays under pressure, of course, you're going to do better in closer games. But there's also the ones like the Bears game with that crazy tip that I don't know if that happens every single time. So while I'm not sure that the Eagles repeat as a Super Bowl team, I do think that they could go ahead and win the division. Unfortunately, there's no value there. So I do have a different bet for the NFC East that does not depend on who wins it. But what do you think, man? Do you think the Commanders can overtake the Eagles there in the NFC East, or is there maybe another team that you're looking at with even more value to win this division?
I like Jaden Daniels for sure. You guys know that I was the first on record guy talking about Jaden Daniels. Maybe what was that, 2020 or so? Spread 2020
at ASU when he was thinner than an NBA player, right? He looked like
he was my size.
Yeah, Arizona State. I've been telling you, I've always liked his temperament, and I've always liked his ability to think quick. He's one of those guys that makes quick decisions, man, and he throws a very catchable, accurate ball, along with having 4.4, 4.3 speed. So just a dynamic player, and he's taking full control and ownership of that team. And I think that he's the type of leader like Jalen Hurts that kind of lifts his guys up. They got to be confident after upsetting the Detroit Lions last year. Who's going to stop this offense? I mean, people are saying a sophomore jinx or a slump or whatever, but I don't see that happening. I think that Cliff Kingsbury is a really good OC. I think he's very imaginative and very innovative on offense. And with him being a quarterback and being in so many positions from a head coach at Arizona, and they were decent when he was there. They did not suck when Cliff was there. They made the playoffs. He had too much fun at Texas Tech. It was that job was a little bit too much for him. He was too young at the time, but he's proven himself wherever he's been, whether it's been USC, all of his stops that he can call plays. And I don't think that he's going to stop, being a great play caller, because I just feel like him and Jaden Daniels are on the same page. And that's very important. We're going to see if Jalen Hurts is on the same page with his new play caller. Even though the guy's been in the building, he hasn't been the guy on the headset. So we'll see how that goes. I just think the Eagles are going to have some fallback, man. They've been a lot of media. It's kind of like Coco after she's won the French Open. I knew that the rest of her year was going to be down because she reached the ultimate prize that she wanted so much, and is doing so much media, so many interviews. You're feeling so good about yourself that you got to celebrate a little bit. And I know that Jalen Hurts is probably back to business, but Saquon Barkley all hanging out at the White House and doing all types of stuff. So I don't know if he has some fallback in his game, and with him, it's always injury concerns. Sirianni, he lose 2 games and the whole city wants to hang him. So, he's been, for some reason, they do not like Sirianni. I don't know why. Maybe they don't like anybody there. So that's one thing to watch as well. My sleeper for this division, actually, the division is better than people think, but either the Cowboys or the Giants are going to rise up because both of them have the talent to do so. Offensively for the Cowboys, defensively for the Giants. So if the Giants have had the same formula for the whole time that the Mariners have ran that team, they're going to get pressure with you with their defensive line. They're going to draft linemen. They're going to get to you with 4 and cover with 7. That's why they always gave Tom Brady hell. They have that formula back, and they always have a quarterback that protects the ball. I think that Russell Wilson can protect the ball. We'll see how he gets along with their head coach, because we thought they had a good head coach. But is he? We'll see after this year. People are higher on Jackson Dart than me. I watched the entire game. The numbers were not right. They were fabricated. He had 2 screens and 1 dump off to a running back. One of them, the guy went like 50 yards. The other one, the guy went 30, and the other one, he went 20. So that was 100 yards right there on yards after catch. He threw a nice fade route for a touchdown. But, I mean, the easiest pass to make on the field when you're amped up and scared is, to throw the ball deep. So he did complete that pass. But when I was watching him, I don't think his athleticism translates. But I thought that about Bo Nix as well. We'll see how he is when, the live fire kicks off. I'm rooting for him. I want our quarterbacks to be successful. But I do think that he got a little bit more credit than he deserved if you really watched every play. I was over at Ski's house. We watched the whole game. Also in the division, you got to look at Dak Prescott is healthy and has a lot of weapons over there. So receivers galore, I don't know who's going to run the ball. Who's going to be that running back this year, Spread?
Jaden Blue, for sure. Okay. Don't fall for the smoke screen. He's by far the most talented running back. And after the original kind of negative reports on that, I don't even know where those came from because it's Schottenheimer, the coach, right? I mean, he's done everything he could to refute that. And then you look at the way the practice camp snaps have been allocated. It feels like Jaden Blue. I would be a shock. I mean, he's so much more physically talented and explosive.
Man. He reminds me of my homie Jamal Charles. He has some burst.
Yeah,
he has some burst. He can get through little tight areas, man. And he's not afraid of contact either. He'll be out there to prove something. So they get the Texas running back, man. So that might be a good look. I think that the Cowboys are going to score a lot of points this year. So I'll be looking at the overs on their game. And as I said, in my opinion, the most solid team, even though I know the Eagles have their number and it seems like the Eagles dominate the Commanders, I just like Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels, man. I really do. So if I'm going to make a bet on this, it would be the Cowboys plus 600 because it's the most value. A lot of negative talk, the Michael Parsons situation. People are saying he might go to the Commanders, but I doubt that Dan Quinn is able to pull that one off. I don't see the Cowboys making any trades with the Commanders, but people are saying that Dan Quinn and him are tight, so he's going to go over there. But regardless of what, that would be the value play for me. But I personally think that Washington Commanders plus 225 wins.
Let me ask you a quick question about the Commanders. Not only are you really good at scouting the tape and watching the sports, you got some connections there in the social world too. That sometimes in some of these same circles that the athletes run in. The reason I'm bringing this up is last year. I don't know if you basically told me, man, I'm a little worried about CJ.
Yeah,
a little worried about all this offseason activity I've been hearing from CJ. And it's not like he had a terrible year, but he definitely was not as good as his rookie year. Jaden Daniels, have you been hearing anything? Or is he like Jalen Hurts, nose to the grindstone? Or is he feeling himself a little bit after the breakout rookie year that he had?
It's some weird stuff going on with him and Juju Watkins. I get that from what I see, the body language, him coming out with on her birthday. Some people saying they're first cousins or something, but that don't make sense. Why are you going to bring this one cousin out with you? And the way they're always booed up and kind of hide and stuff. I think that's his girlfriend. And if she is, that's a really good choice. She's younger than him, but she also is a girl with her head on strong. She doesn't need anything from him. She's her own brand. So I think that that's going to be a positive for him. His mom is not letting him get out in the streets. His mom is everywhere. So like, his mom is his shadow. Like, she doesn't miss a party, a wedding. She's there. If you look, if James in the building, Mom Dukes is there like he's 12. He obviously likes that. So who am I to tell a man what to do with the woman who brought him in the world? So I think that Jaden will be fine. I think Jaden wants to win the Super Bowl, man.
Sino, NFC East, your thoughts?
5-star broke it down real well. Like I told you at the beginning of the show, I think Philadelphia out of that, they're going to decline real bad. And Jaden Daniels, LSU, he coming to play, man. Simple as that. It's not rocket science.
All right, I'm going to jump on something that 5-star said for my pick. I didn't jump in on the division, but I agree with you on the New York Giants. That's right. I know it's a tough one to make, and I'm not ready to go for the playoffs, but 5-star. Over 5 wins. This team's going to win over 5 games, just like you said, off the strength of their defensive line. I know that quarterback means more, so if you hit on quarterback, that's better. But Abdul Carter, to me, is the best player in the draft, and I think he's really going to shore up a defensive line that already featured Brian Burns, to me, as an all-star, and Kayvon Thibodeau, who his overall production doesn't match the stats, but you can see him getting closer, especially if Carter's there eating up even more attention. Should get some easier assignments for Thibodeau. I feel like this team is being undervalued because of how bad they were. But just having a veteran like Russell Wilson, or it could even be Jameis Winston, to start the season is going to be so much better than Daniel Jones.
This man.
You don't think so?
Jackson
will drive their coach loony.
Russell
I want to see it.
And Jameis Winston.
I still think it's an upgrade. Who would you rather have? Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Come on, Spread.
But we're talking about winning 5 games here. I didn't tell you this team's gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm saying they win 5 games.
Jackson thought Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Y'all listen to Spread, y'all want. I can't wait till next season. At the end of the season, man. Lord have mercy.
So you don't say Jackson daughter be the quarterback after they start out 0-8.
It's a possibility, but we know how these division games go. They get a couple upsets in the division. That defensive line starts rolling. I love Scatter. Boom, coming out of ASU. I think he gives that a little two-headed run threat there. And I just think that this team, I mean, I'm not saying they're even going to win a wild card game. I'm just saying they're going to win more than 5 games.
I'm about to look at their schedule right now. 1 second. I haven't seen their schedule. Let's see what they
You ain't gotta look at the schedule. Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson, James Winston. Oh my god. Oh, bro.
You not betting on that, Sino?
No, Jameis Winston gonna get out there talking about the Lord, Jesus saved me Christ. And Russell Wilson gonna get out there like he forgot how to play football. And come on, Jackson Dart, poor thing. He's a rookie, man. Kid got a lot to learn. Like, man, I'm in tears in here. I need to turn
my Spread. I see a 0-4 start. They won't win until they go to the Saints in week 5.
Hey, and then the Saints favored to win that game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
That's like the only game the Saints
flipped now. It just flipped. The Giants are -1.5. They flipped.
Giants can beat Tyler. Come on, Tyler Shuck.
I'm not gonna lie, Spread. I don't see 5 wins on here.
That's the beauty of the NFL, though. That's the beauty of the NFL.
They're gonna have to upset some people. They're gonna have to be a really good home team to get to that number, Spread, because for them not to be successful last year, they got a pretty difficult schedule.
Yeah,
man.
Well, hey.
One more time. Jackson Dart.
It's the reason the numbers at 5.5.
5.
The people I've been naming, man.
Y'all, act like I said they can win the Super Bowl.
You saying they're gonna win over 5 games? I really don't think they're gonna win over 5 games. They might land.
I think because we know how this goes. The teams will start overlooking them. They start going to New York. They look at it as a week off. They're gonna steal 1 or 2.
Man, Malik Neighbors gonna be cussing all them dudes out about week.
Yeah.
You know how Malik got a horrible attitude.
He already won
everybody out by week 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. All right, that 5.5 is going to be difficult. I hope you're right if you bet it already. And we always
So every night even nicer, man. We can clip this up. All right, let's talk about the world of tennis. I don't want to go into it too long, but I thought this little 2-week deal on the Masters was going to be better, and I don't really think it is. But regardless, it just feels like if you win in Canada, you ain't even going to play because of the way they got it. Right?
Yeah.
Did all 4 finalists withdraw? I know on the women's side they did.
I love it as a bettor because, we get the best opportunities during the round.
But that's an easy fade that we got in round 1 that's not there anymore. You always fade the person off the tournament win. We can't even do that anymore because they're withdrawing before it starts. But talk to me about what you've been seeing in Cincinnati. I think this one can give us a little bit of fool's gold because it's so fast. You can look so good at Cincinnati, and then you go to the U.S. Open. It's almost like switching services. Your thoughts on Cincinnati, and what have you seen over the summer in the world of tennis, 5-star?
This has been a great year. Besides
Wimbledon,
that was all the way around for me. Remember I picked Anisimova to go to Wimbledon finals, and she got embarrassed in the finals against Iga. Iga became assassin Iga for that one brief moment, but now she's back to what we thought. She just had a quick burst of energy because she had a really easy draw.
My little favorite psychopath came through, 5-star. Give her some credit.
Psychopath. Yeah, she molded. She stepped up when it was necessary. It was like, man, this is an opportunity for me to get this Wimbledon title. This is going to be hard the rest of my career. Let me take advantage. Yeah. She came with no mercy. And Anisimova, it was way too big for her. And I was surprised that she played that way because she can definitely play on grass with her. And then Sinner upset Alcaraz. They reversed the French Open, where this time Alcaraz wins the first set, and Sinner goes and gets juiced up and comes back and turns to a cyborg. So he won that one. The men's side, we need one person to rise up. I'm hoping it was Ben Shelton with the win he got up in Canada. We need, how the big 3 back in the game, you still had guys who used to beat them, like Monfils and Tsonga and
Wawrinka.
Yeah, Wawrinka. Who was the other guy?
Del Potro.
Small time Marty Fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
we don't have any guy. It's like if Sitter or Alvarez play these guys, and Alvarez is just BS and he betting or something. He'll let him win one set. Like he betting a 2-1 every time against trash. Like, but Sitter's out there like, man, 6-love first set against people. So I need Ben Shelton to step up, and I think he can do it because he's showing a lot more variety. He was really, really impressive to me up in Toronto, man. And
I thought he looked really good against Fritz, man. I liked Fritz in that match, and I watched Shelton, and I said, he can win the tournament. I don't even need to watch the next match. Just bet Shelton right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, because you just watched, and Shelton's such a better athlete. And, you know, the reason I like Fritz, I go, Fritz's fundamentals are a little better. But, boy, unless he's 100%, Shelton's athleticism, you can see Fritz get frustrated because there's shots that Fritz would not have been returning. Shelton's getting to him with plenty of room. Shelton actually dials up the serve a little more. Everything about him screams more potential. He's just going to have to live up to it. But I'm with you. I'm rooting for him, and I'm pretty excited about the newest American prospect that we're going to get excited for, and we'll probably be on to someone new in a year. But right now, Shelton's
every time, because remember we thought TFO was about to step up.
Yeah, I thought Fritz for a little while too was ready to go in the top 5. Yeah,
I thought Fritz would have won a major by now, but
yeah,
it just don't seem like it's going to happen with him, man. It just seems like he's going to be like Vevrus, the American Vevrus, a bunch of Masters titles and, you know, some good little wins, but it's like the pressure. He shrinks every time, but getting to Cincinnati, which is the oldest American tournament, a lot of interesting thing that, you know, ATP loves Fonseca. They're so glad he beat Davidovich Fokina, retired against him. They get a chance to make some commercials about him. So that's one good thing that they got going. But I was able to cash really big. I gave out free yesterday. Not a lot of motion on the tweet. Now, that's probably why we hit it. It was
everyone was sleeping or out at the barbecue and enjoying the afternoon.
I'm telling you, man, plus 260 with Barbara Krejcikova. As I said, head-to-heads do matter. And Svitolina had not had any success against her. And after they got past the first set, Barbara's like an old car, you know, an old classic car. She takes a while to get to going, but after she's running, boy, she can run, and she was making some great shots and looking like her old self. But the lines are saying that she might even lose to young Eva Jovic, who's the young American, tomorrow, man, on Tuesday. She's only minus 122. That's screaming a bag line. They're begging you to take Krejcikova fresh off that win against Svitolina. I love McCarthy Kessler. She should run through Ayla Sedal, even though Sedal upset. It's funny. She beat Navarro. You know, Navarro's dad owns this tournament.
Yeah.
And she went home in the first round. He owns this one and Charleston, I believe. But she has been playing good this year. Another one that, just like Keenan, they're not used to having a lot of success. Always been the girl that's kind of looked over, and now they get this success, man. They can't maintain it. Later this evening, one of my favorite players plays in Cincinnati, little Ito. Ito has the most interesting game I've seen probably since, remember, what was her name? Heish? Is that how you say it? Shay? How do you pronounce it?
Sue Shay. And the reason I'm a big fan of hers is her and Ostapenko ran off a huge string of double success. And it was the awesome mix because Shay is such a crafty player with all the slice, and Penko's just brainlessly ball bashing, right? It was just the perfect team. So I'm a big fan of Shay, and of course she's really funny in her post-game speeches, win or lose, when they make to the finals. But so Ito.
So is Ito. Ito is Japanese, so they're not from the same culture, but she had to probably still watch it. Man, you got to watch Ito. Ito is such a...
That's on at 4 p.m. for us, so I'll throw that on this afternoon.
She sliced. I guarantee you she takes a set off for keys. She's slicing. You know, Madison just wants to stand back on hardcore and smack. But she has so much variety, bro, and she just stands still when she does it, so you can't tell what's coming. You can't tell if she's going to slice you, drop you, or go to the baseline, because she can do it all with the same motion of her forehand, man. She's a magnificent young girl to watch. A lot of movement, really quick. She's going to give Madison Keys some issues. So I don't know what it is for her to win.
Plus 1.5 sets, plus 107 on Bookmaker right now.
There we go. So I'm taking to this evening. I don't know if it gets up on time. Hopefully it does. I'm going with Ito plus 1.5 for sure. And then look until Tuesday. I think that Paulini is back. I think that Ashton Kruger is a decent player. You know what? I'm not betting Paulina. I don't trust her. I don't trust her. Let me take that back. I'm not trusting her.
Yeah, play Paulini in Europe, man. I would tread lightly on our matches over here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I think her Europe results kind of skew her ranking a little higher than she is when she's over here. Just like certain Americans.
Yeah,
they just suck in Europe. I mean, it's just the way it is.
That's the way it is. Yeah, Paulina, because I'm not gonna let her trick me with what happened with the Sakari match, because I had money on Sakari and I watched the entire match, and Sakari really just gave away that match in 2 tiebreakers, and I'm not going to trust that Paulina's already back. She's another one last year, had her biggest career at 28, more media and love and fanfare in Italy than she's ever had. And, you know, I expected some pullback this year, and we're seeing it from her. A lot less time to practice on those courts, man, when you're balling. So I'm not going to mess with her. She's playing someone who's hungry, and Ashton Kruger, because Kruger's good on hard courts, and she's going to have an ability to hold her serve a lot better than Paulini. Give me, for Cincinnati, my pick tomorrow would be my girl, Karol Muchova. She's a minus 350, which is high juice, but it's worth it. I think she beats Gracheva probably 2-1. Gracheva might sneak in a set because Muchova's still honing her skills back. You know, she missed a lot of time with injuries. She's starting to come back to herself. I'm hoping her body can stay right, because you and I love Carolina Muchova spread. You know, that's one of my favorite girls to bet, man, for years, and she made me a lot of money on her surprise runs through Wimbledon and through the French Open. That both years I was on her when she was, you know, still healthy. Very good player, a lot of variety, man. She can do so much on the court, and now she's developed a really strong serve as well. But I'll take her money line minus 300, and I'll take your girl Ostapenko first set against Bronzetti. I think Ostapenko mows her first set, and then Bronzetti comes back and it gets 3 sets, and Bronzetti might win. Bronzetti sucks, but Ostapenko just cannot maintain her levels. You know how it is. She'll come out early and be blasting her because she can't hit with her. On hard court, she could not stay with her. But after that, you know what's going to happen. Big Pinko is going to pull back a little. So we should get around minus 110, minus 120 for that. So if you're going to play something tomorrow in Cincinnati, my picks would be Ostapenko first set with Muchova for the full match.
Sino, let's talk about your favorite sport, the Women's Tennis Association. You can't stop watching it. You love it so much. What are you thinking about the world of tennis this summer?
Man, women's tennis this summer jacked up the whole Raw group. I was losing people left and right, trying to keep up, man. But nah, ATP usually, you know, I do my best bet. I actually had Yannick Sinner beating Alcaraz. And Wimbledon, we cashed big on that one. Me and Five Star actually talked about it, and he was like, "Man, I seen it right after." I was like, "Yeah, that definitely was the right side." But I haven't been betting on WTA. I haven't been watching it that much, to be honest. I've been on Major League Baseball. That's where all of my excitement been, and that's where we've been racking up units, waiting for the football season to return.
All right. Speaking of racking up units, I think it's about that time. You guys ready for a ball and parlay? Oh, no. I got one more thing to ask you about.
What's that?
You got inside information on what Christian Wilkins did? And if you need to tell me off the air, we can edit this out, but I need to know.
I think it was kind of like he made a guy uncomfortable by playing too much. He's one of those, if you ever played football, did you play football, Spread?
No, I was too small. I didn't want to get hurt.
Spread, you weren't too small.
I didn't grow till I was 16. I was really small until I was.
And I was just the opposite. I've been the same size since I was 15. I just was skinnier. Yeah. You know, I got more like muscle mass on me when I got in my 30s. Sino, you played football, of course. I know you did. You know, it's always guys that's like Christian Wilkins inside the locker room, like big goofies. That's what I call them. They're really big dudes. They're strong, and they don't even be understanding their strength. And they play too much. They really good at football, but they play too much. And that's what it is. He play too much, man. So, because he don't care what you're going to say to him, because he going to beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he going to beat your ass. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like, I always compare football locker rooms to prison. It's about who's running the radio, and it's about who can do what to who inside there, and it's just a pecking order, man. And he's one of those guys that everybody knows weird, but they don't say shit to him because he's gonna hurt you. You know, they've seen it before where somebody tried to say something to him and he beat their ass. So I think that Wilkins did like I'm not gonna call it a homosexual act because in this new world, that's not the word you want to say. Just say he did something to make somebody feel uncomfortable, I believe. And I think that it caused a big ruckus. Maybe it was one of the players who are more popular on the team. And they got rid of him. And he had to do something pretty bad, right, Spread? Because he's a hell of a player.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big contract to eat, too. Normally, a player, like, when you give them that much money, you give them lots of chances. So, yeah, they must have thought we can't come back from this. Yeah. But anyways, I just had to know because I know that, you know, there's stuff we read and then there's stuff you guys might know that's not put in the Las Vegas Review Journal. All right, let's move to the Ball and Parlay. You gave out a couple already, 5-star. Remind the people of the tennis you're on and any other plays you want to give for our Ball and Parlay.
Yeah, on the Cincinnati Open, I took a money line Oscar Pico first set only, guys. Remember that with Oscar Pico, we're going first set. I think it's minus 230. And then you're going to put that along with Carolina Muhova money line minus 350. It'll pay you about, like I said, 110. I don't have it in front of me right now, but just from years of betting, I know it's a minus 120, 130 up in there somewhere. Then also I like Danyana Yastremka at plus 4.5 against Coco.
Yeah, I got plus 5. That was what I was going to give out too. I was worried you were going to get mad.
Go ahead, go on and run it, Spread. Since we agree with you, go on and run it, and then
it's just one of those things we talked about. We talked about Coco, and we've seen this before, right? We all, you know, we bet against the team coming off the biggest win of their year, and it just feels like it's been a little bit of a hangover for Coco, just as far as the amount of adulation and the amount of celebrating she did, and rightfully so. But it's just one of those things. Also, the matchup, like I said, can be tricky. I think Coco's going to do great at the U.S. Open. That surface is perfect for her. This is the exact opposite. This is one of the fastest hard courts you'll see because the women don't go to Paris. The only one I can think off the top of my head is the ATP Paris that will happen in November that plays faster indoors. And Yastremska's got the power to where she should hold her serve enough for this game, for this match, to stay close, you know. And I think, you know, we get a tiebreaker here, or she squeaks out a set, and that she covers the 5 games. Now, I'm not going to take the money line. I'm only taking the plus 5, but I think that's too many games. I think this should be lined at plus 3.5.
I like that a lot. And she has some success against her. She's beaten her a couple times. So Yastremska is not going to be, you know, anything but motivated when she sees Coco. And Coco is still getting her game back together. There's a lot of time.
And Yastremska loves that cross-court forehand. That's probably one of her best shots, and that's probably the best way to attack Coco is just consistently, you know, keep her away from her backhand, because backhand to backhand rallies, Coco's going to have the advantage. But on the forehand to forehand, Yastremska can keep it there. She's pretty good at running around it. She's pretty good at keeping it wide. It's a good matchup for her. So I'll be interested to watch how that one plays out.
What do you got, Sino?
Like I said, I've been riding the MLB, so that's really all I can give you guys. Me and Spread was actually talking about this team before we came on air. Our new Las Vegas A's. Spread was saying that they're talking about keeping the A's down there in Oakland, and I'm telling him right now they're building a stadium like right up the road. Like they already demolished Tropicana.
They haven't started the building yet. They have demolished the stadium, but I have not seen the building. And I suggest Oakland keep that team because they got some young guys that can play.
So hold up, 5-star. They're not out there. They're not moving dirt around or nothing.
I haven't seen any dirt get moved. They selling packages.
Definitely selling packages and stuff like that. But you can watch the cameras and stuff, and you can watch the dirt and everything go get moved. And you know they moving stuff around out there. Like they really.
What are you hearing locally, Spread?
No. What I was saying was the hope in Sacramento was that we would support the team so much they would consider keeping them in Sacramento, but that wasn't the case. They're not getting the turnout like they expected. And I was telling them, I think it's just there's too many Giants fans in the neighborhood. The A's have been so bad for so long that all the kids 18 and under that follow baseball, they're usually Giants fans because one team's won 3 3 World Series in their lifetime. The other one has, we have 1 wild card loss. So
and that's just think about when we were growing up. The A's were like the hood team. Everybody that was black.
That was my favorite. That's why they're my favorite team. Yeah.
And now nobody in Oakland really cares about sports now because they don't have the Ricky Hendersons to look up to. MC Hammer was a ball boy because they love baseball in that area. And that was Reggie Jackson, Ricky Henderson, later the Bash Brothers. They were like the represented Oakland like the Raiders did. And now that Oakland has kind of been left for dead, it's one of those communities that they've done like Detroit, where like we're just giving up on them. And then also the people in legislation, we've talked about that on the show as well, Spread. They're not pushing sports anymore in Oakland. They're only pushing art. They're trying to make it Berkeley's and get rid of all of it. They feel like if they reprogram the kids, that the violence will stop instead of giving them some other alternatives and outlets to get, the violence out through playing sports, as we talked about many times on the wagering world. Didn't mean to cut you out, Sino, but go ahead with your A's breakdown.
Nah, man, it's going real short. I'm just riding with Jeffrey Springs, man. He in a great form right now. The A's got greater offensive power. I was telling Spread about the rookie Nick Kurtz, man. Like the team, great future, and they're about to move to Vegas, so they definitely have to start doing some winning. And they got some momentum right now. And the Rays, they just been trash on the road. They lost like 14 of the last 17 away games. So that's something I've been riding. I just been fading them, and I feel it's a good spot for the Oakland A's. So for the Ball and Parlay, it's a pick of -110. That's right, the Las Vegas Oakland A's.
All right, you heard that for the guys on the Ball and Parlay. Let me run mine back real quick, and I'm going to give you 2 more. We're going to go to baseball, too. Let's go to the Diamond. I like the Cincinnati Reds first 5 tonight.
Yes, sir. I didn't want to give that one.
Yeah, I like that first 5. First 5, I think that the Reds are a team that's turning the corner. They're also a really good home team, one of the best managers of all time in the dugout. Philly is a good team. They're going to be right there in October. We know they got an all-star lineup. But with that said, I think that the Reds can get to Tawan Walker early. So I'm not going to bet the whole game because we don't want to get to even though the Reds have had some good bullpen pitching this year. Let's go Reds first 5 at home, -140 behind Andrew Abbott. And then also, let's go with the Astros tonight. Christian Javier is just coming back. The Red Sox beat the tar out of us in Boston. Anytime that the money is on the opposing team against the Astros, bet them. That's one of 5-star secrets that you're only going to catch on the wagering world, because I know it's only my 1,000 guys or so that's watching. It ain't getting to everybody. If the Astros are the dog with the public, you can unload. They always play well. So that +150 is too good to pass up for us, bro. We rolling with the Astros tonight with Christian Javier.
That's going to be a secret for 1 more week, and Jason McIntyre going to say it on the air next week.
Yeah, he going to say it next week on J-Mac. I ain't watched him lately because J-Mac been on there too much. I think Colin back now. He moved the studio to Chicago, him and his wife. And then I'm going to give you guys one last, since you've been gone so long, let's do one ATP play. I thought Sino was going to give an ATP, so I'm going to give an ATP Cincinnati play. I've been into trying to find the players who play best early, man, and take advantage of that. And one guy who plays really good early is Jakub Mensik. -260 against Luca Nardi. Luca Nardi can play with Mensik, but I think Mensik gets it done. He is a reigning hard court master champion winning Miami. He starts fast usually. So give me first set -260 with Mensik and put that with -450 Ben Shelton. Ben will be tired and have a fall off late in the tournament, but I don't think that Roberto Batista Agut, old school RBA, has enough power to hit with Ben, especially a confident Ben. Now, old school, back in the game, Robbie could have gave him hell coming off a win, but Robbie's getting a little bit gray in his hair, man. He's getting a little bit older. So let's go with Mensik -260. First set with Ben Shelton -450. That pays -144. Remember also Oscar Pinko first set at -230. Money line with Carolina Mukhova against Muchiba at -350. That pays about -120. And then I also gave you guys 2 baseball. We're going with the Reds first 5 at home against Philadelphia. And we also going with the mighty Astros +150. At home tonight against the Red Sox. There's too much value for me to pass up.
2 more 5-star. We've been gone for a while. We're going to give them all types of plays. They can load up their
me
whole
too.
account.
I want to give us some more.
Let's go, baby.
All right, I'm going to go first, and then we'll give Sino some more winners, too. I want to go to the WNBA for tomorrow night. The Indiana Fever, of course, Caitlin Clark's been out, so everyone thinks they're not going to win. That hasn't been the case at all. Fever won 6 of their last 8 games, and they have 2 more injuries, right? They had to sign Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract because they got no guards. I don't care. The Dallas Wings do not want to win games right now. They have Paige Buckers. They are developed. And for the rest of it, this is a full-on tank. Philadelphia 76ers will be proud with the way that the Dallas Wings are executing this tank. I want to go ahead and lay the 7 with the Indiana Fever at home. Win is the 6 of their last 8. I don't care that Clark's not in the lineup. I think they've got a good chance to get it done. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a home dog with the Los Angeles Sparks. The New York Liberty, of course, reigning champions. Just coming off a tough loss, though. The team they beat in the WNBA Finals, the Minnesota Lynx, was just able to beat them on Sunday. Now they got to travel all the way to Los Angeles. Think, Los Angeles is not that good. They're 15-16. However, they're 8-2 over their last 10 games, and they put up 100 points in 3 of their last 4 wins. Los Angeles Sparks are hot right now. They need this game more. I'm taking the home dog with the Sparks. Sino, what else you got for them?
I've got the picks you got. The way you just broke that down, I'm definitely running with those. But I'm gonna add to the ATP pick that 5-star gave out with Mensick. I love that play. I see that who he's playing. We're gonna add Riley Opelka with that. So we're gonna do a 2-team parlay. Let's add Riley Opelka and Mensick. I think that serve, man, that serve in the ATP is hard to stop. Big serve, Riley. He should knock Francisco out the way.
Yeah, Riley's a true serve bot. I had him against Demon yesterday, and he was able to get it. I had him first set, and he was able to get it done in the top.
I bet his matches 5-star. I'd go out every time he returning. Time to go get some fresh air and come back in about 45 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a real serve bot.
His return is bad.
Petty Pericard and Riley Opelka are old school serve bots like they used to have. Like, what was the guy named Sam? What was his name? Spread Sam. He still calls the game sometimes. He's an amateur. Sam, he was another one. Serve bot. What was the big boy out of Georgia? Big tall fella out of Georgia that was American that could serve.
Isner.
Look, remember Sino? They banned me.
You know my favorite ones though. I don't even know what country he's from, but Ivo Karlovic.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a blast from the past. And I think Goran Ivanisevic was like that too, right?
Yeah, he was. He had a little better ground strokes, but yeah.
But Ben Shelton is not like that. He started out relying on his serve, but he's developed his game a lot. He shows a lot because if he gets broken, he's at you the next game trying to break you back. Not every player, a serve bot can't do that. They just call it a set. I'll get them next set. Speaking of Dallas, they need to get off a Rika spread. That's when they're going to really blossom. They got to let Paige run the show. They got to get a Rika out of there. All right, man. Great to be back with you guys. This is season 4, but episode 1. So it's a fresh start, brand new season. Anything for the people before we get out of Sino?
Nah, man. I appreciate everybody. Follow me on Twitter, man. I ain't hard to find at Sino Royale. Welcome to all the new people in the Wagering World population. Shit, season. What season this is? 5?
4.
Season 4, episode 1. Shit, we've been working hard, man. Let's keep it going.
Anything for the people before we get out of this spread?
Man, I'm glad to be back to work, and we definitely loaded up this bet slip today. So I hope the people enjoyed it, and we'll be back with more soon.
Hey, man, sometimes we make 20 plays, sometimes we make 1, but you can guarantee if we give it out, we're playing it as well, and we see an angle. Y'all hit that like button right now for the Wagering World. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Guys, it's free not to be a hater. I see about 500 people watch the show. We get, 50 likes? Come on, guys. If you're watching the show, it's nothing to just hit that like button. We're spending our time. We're not making any money off YouTube. For 4 years, we've been doing this just for the love of the game because we love sports, and we want to give you guys an edge. We created this show, The Wagering World, simply for guys who want to go in the books and come out a winner. As always, I dedicate this show to my father, the greatest youth of sports fan that I know, and that's John H. Lindsay. For Spread Astaire, for Sino Royale, as always, us versus the machine. This is The Wagering World.